So Disney has raised subscription prices again, because that's all these companies do. They hook you in with a cheap subscription and then they raise the price over and over and over again. So the prices of Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN are all going up. Disney Plus is increasing by $2, Hulu's increasing by $1, and ESPN Plus is increasing by $1. And that might seem like a little bit of an increase, but they've been doing this since inception. Every single year, Disney Plus has gotten more expensive. And all these streaming companies didn't used to be so insistent on raising the prices. This is pretty new. Like, for the longest time, Netflix just kept the prices the same, probably to take over the market. But now they're all raising the prices constantly to continue growth, because without raising the prices, they're not growing. In fact, every time they've raised the price, they drop subscriptions. Now, they're not like low. Like, there's still 150 million people subscribed to Disney Plus, which is insane to me, but they're not growing, which is what these companies really want for some reason. Like, it's not enough for them to print money. They also need to grow while they're doing it. And I'm not exaggerating, by the way, when I say they raised it every single year. They've actually just been doing that. Like, here's a screenshot of someone's billing history for Disney, and every single year, it just goes up. They are literally on a yearly schedule of every October raising the cost. So you can expect it next year to also go up at this rate, because it's been doing it consistently. And this is kind of one of the huge issues with streaming models in general. They don't really make anybody money, so the only way that they make money is by constantly raising the prices, and even then, they don't really make more money, because they're all still losing money. At least a lot of them are. I think Netflix is profitable now, but like, I think they're the only one. And all it took for Netflix to be profitable was like triple their cost over time. That's all it took, guys. Once Disney Plus is $40 a month, they're gonna break even. Also, please hit that like button down below and subscribe for new. I'm trying to hit 500K. Thank you. Now, personally, I am not subscribed to Disney Plus. I used to be when it was like $6 a month, but as soon as they raised the prices one time, I dipped. I know the cycle, okay? They constantly come in with a low price to undercut the competition, and then once they get subscribers, they get people hooked on it, they just slowly raise the prices. It happens every single time, and I'm getting really tired of it. Like, I see the game you're playing, and I'm not interested. And I found an old Reddit thread for when they initially raised the prices from $6 to $8. And it's so funny because all of the same points apply today. Why is it raising its price? It doesn't need to. I haven't checked on Disney Plus in a while, so I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure Disney Plus is like just Disney content. Am I wrong? And if I'm not wrong, why does Disney need to charge so much money for just Disney content? They already own everything on their own platform. They don't need to charge this much. I just don't think they do. And I get that companies are gonna do whatever they need to make more money. I understand that. I just don't like it. And the reason Netflix even took off to begin with was because it was the only player in town, and they had really good prices, and it was like Blockbuster, but better. And for those of you who have no idea what Blockbuster is, it was a video store you walked into to rent things. And no, I'm not 35 years old. I just went there as a kid a couple times, and then suddenly Netflix existed, so I didn't have it that long. But Netflix replaced Blockbuster, which was already good, okay? We had it good with Blockbuster. You might think it's crazy, but it was good. But Netflix came in and undercut that by mailing you movies sometimes, and also introducing streaming. And it had pretty much everything you wanted to watch on Netflix, which was really good. And when Netflix raised the price, people weren't that upset because they knew they were getting like a lot. But then all these other streamers came in, and by streamers I mean like Hulu and stuff, and started taking content from Netflix for their own platforms, fragmenting the entire industry, causing everyone to hate all of this. And the only real reason subscriptions keep going up in cost is because all these companies have this idea that infinite growth is a possibility, when it's just not. You can't always grow, because at some point, you're gonna run into people who care about Disney Plus or wanna pay the price. The more you increase the price, the less people join, and the more likely people are to just unsubscribe or not even be able to afford it, right? It's just so short-sighted. Like, this is obviously not gonna work out for them long term. In the short term, yeah, they're gonna make more money. But over time, people are gonna realize that this thing is way too expensive and cancel it. And once they cancel, they're not gonna go back. And at least with this price hike, Disney's adding ABC News Live and a couple playlists, but they're not really adding much. But I mean, this is the same thing that's happening with Game Pass right now. Game Pass is also increasing their prices with like little in return, because all of these streaming platforms and streaming services are basically a scam. You don't own anything on it, you pay for it monthly, and you get nothing in return once you cancel, and all they do is constantly raise the price over and over and over again. At the current rate of all these subscriptions increasing, I would expect all of them to individually cost like $30 a month within 10 years, probably more. It really depends on how much they can use inflation as an excuse, and I would be shocked if Game Pass Ultimate didn't hit $30 within 2 years. That is the track they're going toward. And since they already promised they were never gonna raise prices and did it anyways, they're gonna keep raising the prices. So if you're not happy about all these price increases from all these subscription companies, I would just cancel your subscriptions and find alternative ways of watching content, assuming you don't already. Because yeah, they're gonna keep raising prices as long as people tolerate it. So the more people unsubscribe when they raise prices, the more they'll stop. Like, imagine if Disney, every time they raise prices, had half their subscribers leave. They would never touch it. They'd be terrified to touch it. That's probably why Netflix kept their prices the same for so long, because they didn't want people to leave, because TV still existed and Blockbuster still existed. So if they raised the prices, they were worried people were going to go back to those. But ever since they realized they can raise the prices and not many people care, they've been doing it more and more and more. And that goes for all the company. And there's genuinely not enough room for all of them to exist. That's why Hulu was bought by Disney, because there's not room for more competition in the space. It is saturated. So eventually, more of these streaming services are gonna drop out of the race, because you can't expect people to start paying the same as TV when you sold the alternative as being cheaper than TV. People are gonna just cancel. And ESPN is kind of in its own area, and I think it'll be fine regardless, because I'm pretty sure it's like a monopoly. I don't think it has much competition besides like YouTube TV or something. Like, I don't watch sports personally, so I don't know much about the streaming of sports, but I do know that it's ridiculous, because whenever I've tried to watch any kind of sport ever, it is the most ridiculous thing ever. It's like, oh yeah, maybe I'll watch the Super Bowl. Where? Why is it not just easy, bro? The biggest event in the US and I can't find it? Oh, you just have to sign up for 12 different things. No, I think I'm good. People who like sports, I am so sorry. You get scammed at like every single turn because there's like no other option. And then even with games, you guys also just get scammed. Like, NBA 2K is kind of a scam game, and Madden's kind of a scam game. Like, what do you mean Jake from State Farm is a character in sports games? What do you mean, bro? This is an advertisement. It's an ad. But based on Disney Plus' lack of growth, this is definitely a move of like, we need to raise the prices because we don't have growth. This is not a move they wanted to do, probably, because why would they? They're losing subscribers. They're not gaining any subscribers. If they were gaining subscribers, I'd say this is just because they're being greedy. They're just trying to make sure they have infinite growth so people keep dumping money into stock. That's pretty much all this is. But eventually, that growth is gonna never come because it's impossible. It is just impossible to infinitely grow something like this. And eventually a day is gonna come where they can't get any growth because people are just tired of them. Tired of the price increases, tired of them pulling shows, tired of all of that. Because like one of the worst things is like going on Spotify, for example, and seeing one of your favorite songs just gone. And I get the perspective from the artist because I know that Spotify is not the best to artists at all. But in my mind, it's a failure on Spotify's part because Spotify could just pay them more. And they don't. And eventually it's gonna reach a point where Spotify has pulled too many songs that I care about, and I will switch. And I think that goes for like all of these platforms. Eventually, they're gonna piss too many people off, and people are gonna leave. And Disney Plus also just announced password crackdowns. Now, they already had these planned. They had these planned for June 4th, I believe, but they didn't start going through yet. Netflix has done the same thing. It's like a soft rollout. They're not doing it hard and fast because I think they know a good amount of people will unsubscribe if they do it. So they don't wanna do it all at once, because then people will complain about it and have mass panic because they could just do this all at one time. They're rolling it out slowly on purpose so people don't notice. Because yeah, I haven't seen much about these password crackdowns at all, especially from Netflix, even though Netflix is still doing it. But I know for a fact from personal experience that they're not just doing it instantaneously. There's like a threshold or something that you have to reach before they kick you off. I don't know what exactly they're doing, but they're definitely not doing it all at once. And so far, it has worked out for Netflix, unfortunately. So Disney probably wants the same effect. They want this to work in their favor. Obviously, right? But I don't know if it's gonna play out like that over the long term. Because if all these streaming services start doing password crackdowns and make you sign up to every single one of them individually as an individual person, people are just gonna unsubscribe and get tired of all of it. Like if you're subscribed to all these streaming services and one of them starts doing a password crackdown and you share with your friends, that's like annoying, right? But if all of them start doing it, that's beyond annoying. That's infuriating. So yeah, if you hate streaming companies doing this and being this greedy and terrible, unsubscribe and never go back. That's how you fix the problem. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe for new. Follow me on Twitter at spatnz1 and click the answer down, check out all my content, and have a good one.